What is going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and I just got done watching The Suicide Squad by James Gunn with my good friend Chris Gore. What's up, Chris?
We just got out of it. It was fun.
It was, and I think this is going to be at least a kind of spoiler-free review, just kind of give our initial thoughts. I think the one word that a lot of people are going to use to describe this is fun, because that's what it was, and I think that's what it was intended to be. But The Suicide Squad by James Gunn, we got an early screening at the Arrow Theater. It wasn't something special or any access media, anything like that. It was just an email list that you let me know about, and we had a great time up there.
I let you know about it, and you were my +1, and that's how we got in. So
that's exactly
nothing special.
True. But we watched it up here in Los Angeles, and I guess my initial thoughts on it are, I think that a 98 or 96% on Rotten Tomatoes for a critic score is probably too high, but it is a good movie. And for me, I think a cool thing about this, which separates it from a lot of other comic book movies we have going on right now, is it's pretty disconnected. You don't have to have seen the theatrical cut of Suicide Squad, although we all want to see David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad. You don't have to see that to enjoy this movie, but also if you did see it, you can still enjoy this movie. It is really its own thing, and I think James Gunn kind of wanted it to be that way, and that might be just the way DC's going in general right now.
Yeah, it has almost no connection to the first Suicide Squad movie. I mean, other than the premise, which is there's something in their brains that will explode if, I mean, like, so that's a part of it, but like, I actually really like the fact that he introduced all these characters that you're going to fall in love with, but don't like them too much, because don't get attached. And they did a very, very quick introduction of like what Task Force X is and how they control them. And from the beginning, you really get introduced to the fact that you shouldn't get attached to these characters. However, I was surprised at how quickly, we were expecting that, we were ready for that, but how quickly it happened was kind of a surprise. Yeah, the opening scene, I don't know, are we going to spoil stuff? It's on HBO Max. I mean,
it is on HBO Max. Well, like, not yet, though. Not yet.
Not yet, but like, yeah, so you're going to see a lot of characters you love. You'll find someone else to love. That's it. Move on from whatever your love may be. But like what James Gunn does so well is taking like the ugly and making it lovely, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Yeah. King Shark, for example. You're going to love him.
Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man, like of all things, David Desmalchin, who like on my own YouTube channel on Film Threat, I have an interview with David. And he talks about, who's also in Dune, by the way. Dune, we'll have a conversation later about Dune.
Yes.
But like, yeah, like Polka Dot Man, you want, like, probably the dumbest character in the comic book DC universe.
He made him into a very interesting, unique character, funny as fuck at times, that you cared about. And I think that's a thing that James Gunn did really well in this, is that you don't get a lot of the members of this initial team, maybe not stick around a long time, but the ones who you do know are in for kind of the majority of it, there's enough time for all of them to kind of shine, which is tough to do. Not that James Gunn is unfamiliar with doing comic book team-ups.
And not that this was something that James Gunn, thought about or tried to time it to, but Polka Dot Man's love for his mother might be ill-timed with certain things that are happening on the internet right now.
Oh man, I did not even think about Chris Chan. I did not even think about that.
I didn't either. You brought it up. All I'm saying is, Polka Dot Man has an unhealthy love for his mom, hate.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
a love and or hate for his mother, which comes up. Please notice this. James Gunn had nothing, like his thought about the timing of that. It was fortuitous or not, I have no idea. But wow. Yeah, I just thought about that just now, actually.
Yeah, me too. I am not thinking about that at all. I was watching the movie, but now that's literally all I can think about. I will say that I think the movie, I think you can say this for almost any movie that's released right now, is probably like 20 minutes too long. There's a Harley Quinn scene in the middle. I guess we could talk about Harley Quinn a little bit. I've kind of had enough of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. She's good in the role, but I don't think she's good by herself in the role. I think she's good when she's part of a group of other people. There was a 10-minute scene that could literally just be cut from this entire thing.
Except Quentin Tarantino would disagree with you because of the use of her toes when it comes to undoing locks. I hope that's not a spoiler. I hope it's not a spoiler, but there's something involving Margot Robbie's toes.
We could have kept that in, though. We could have kept that part in and just cut the entire other part.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Overall, I think that probably 80 on Rotten Tomato critic would probably be more what I would expect this movie to be. It's not as good as the original Guardians of the Galaxy. I would put it maybe along the lines of Galaxy 2, if we're talking about James Gunn comic book movies.
No, I feel like the ranking is not as good as Guardians 1, but probably, for me, better than Guardians 2.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? In that because there's the Gunnisms are so good. Like the titling, the way that there's some titling aspects that are very clever. There's the fact that he falls in love with like these just bizarre like misfits is always like that's his specialty, and also the weird thing is it's R-rated.
Yeah,
it's an R-rated, and we got in a discussion in the car on the way back. Yeah. Is this the first DC Snyderverse movie with breasts?
It has to be. Yeah.
Is it like
there's no others.
There are breasts, which, for those of you who don't believe in God, I feel like maybe you would if you gazed on a pair of breasts. And in this movie, it is R-rated in the sense of the violence, and also there is some unexpected nudity.
Yeah, it's not gratuitous in any way. Like, honestly,
it's not gratuitous.
I wouldn't have any issues taking like teenagers to it at all. It was for violence and it was for language, and that's kind of what this should be. It's a Suicide Squad movie. I think that the Suicide Squad should be using language like that, and it was appropriate. James Gunn clearly had free reign to do really whatever he wanted. That's what it seemed like. Mm-hmm. I wish that DC would have done this a lot more for some of their directors. I still want to see David Ayer's Suicide Squad at some point in time. And we obviously saw, in my opinion, what's a big improvement for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Right. But overall, really fun movie that didn't try to preach to you about anything. It didn't hit you over the head with any identity politics. It was just a story. And a lot of people fucking died. But overall, I would recommend going out there and seeing it, especially if you have an HBO Max account. It's pretty easy to go and do that, but that's my impression. Good movie, not fantastic, but something that we could use more of, I think. More movies like this. Not meant to necessarily connect to anything, except stay for one post-credits scene. But just kind of be their own thing in this universe of comic book movies that all need to tie into everything. Yeah,
it's a good standalone and an entertaining time at the movies. But I recommend actually going to the movies. Go and see this at the movies. Forget your HBO Max account or your friend's HBO Max password. Just go to the movies to see this. An entertaining time. Do what we did. Sneak in alcohol.
Yeah, that would definitely help with this and likely every other movie that's coming out of Hollywood right now. Also, John Cena, surprisingly good in this, I will say. Some John Cena movies not a big fan of. He's pretty darn good in this. He really is. So definitely go check it out. Let us know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Chris, want to thank you for letting me join you. It's fucking awesome. Had a blast, and I think we're definitely going to be doing some more stuff together at some point as well.
Hell yeah.
All right, thanks guys. Talk to you later. Peace. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.